last class, we have considered the corresponding synthesis interpretation, how actually the synthesis will be interpreted for every code or for every statement, what it has been written. And next, let us consider how the synthesis design flow will going to happen. That is, from RTL level description to gate level description, what is the corresponding flow that occurs. Okay, then this is the general block diagram. So first we will be having a RTL description. Based on that, translation will be done, and based on the translation we are going to get unoptimized intermediate representation, and that will be optimized, and after optimizing, then it will be synthesized. To synthesize, we are going to consider technology mapping optimization, and while doing this, we are going to consider the corresponding design constraint as well as the library available or defined by a specific vendor. And then finally, we are going to get the gate optimized representation. So let us consider in detail. First, we are getting the RTL description. Designer will going to describe the corresponding circuit description, that is considered as RTL description. And after performing the circuit description, the functional verification has been done by simulation. Means whatever the program we are going to write, we will going to simulate and observe the output. So when once the output is proper, then we will go for synthesis. So that is the reason, after finding the functional verification, designer will going to send this data to logic synthesis tool. What this logic synthesis tool will do? First, it will going to translate. Translate means whatever the program we have written, every statement will be analyzed, and then it will going to think by using which particular gates or by using which particular operation the corresponding circuit can be built. Okay, according to that, it will going to describe, means it will understand what are the basic gates it has to use and what operators it has to use. So it will going to understand all these things, and it will be described in a internal database. Okay, but it will not going to consider how much area is required to implement the circuit and what is the corresponding timing requirement. All these things it will not going to consider. It is not bothered about all those things. It will just describe what the corresponding RTL description will going to tell. Means if you want to perform a full adder operation, so there it will going to indicate that it has to use one XOR gate and also AND gate as well as OR gate to get the full adder output. Like this it will going to indicate, and how the basic connections has to be done. So like this, in a very unoptimized way, it will going to describe the corresponding data structure. That is known as unoptimized intermediate representation. From the translation, we are going to get this type of data structure. Means it will just tell which primitives it has to use and to make the circuit. And this user cannot able to understand, because when we are going to write behavioral architecture, for example, let us consider priority encoder. So when we are going to consider priority encoder, there what we did, we have mentioned that if a particular MSB has been given the highest priority, then according to that, output should be equal to 111. Like this we had taken, isn't it? 8:3 priority encoder. There we were not bothered about the circuit, and also we didn't mention which part. We have not written any structural description or gate level abstraction for priority encoder. Only behavioral level of abstraction we have written, isn't it? Because we feel that it is difficult to write the corresponding structural description for priority encoder. So we are going to consider only behavioral description, but based on that description, your synthesis tool means the translator, it has to mention which particular primitive gates or primitive microcells or macrocells it has to use to build the corresponding logic. Okay, in that it will going to mention, but it cannot be understood by the user, only the synthesis tool will going to understand. And based on that data structure, the local optimization will going to remove all the redundant logics, and only the optimized circuit it will going to consider. Okay, so till now it is not considered about any timing constraint or area constraint, power constraint and all. It just only consider optimal optimal circuit which can be built. Okay, and now next what we are having is technology mapping and optimization. Technology mapping means here a particular vendor who wants to build a specific circuit will be mentioning using which particular technology he want to build the corresponding circuit. For example, if you want to consider a design of a microcontroller or a microprocessor, there we may use the CMOS nanometer technology they can use, or they some for some particular ICs some micrometer technology they can use, CMOS technology. So like this he will going to specify which technology and what are the basic cell that are present in that particular technology. For example, if I am going to consider a package of logic gates, then it should have at least two input AND gate, OR gate, inverter, that is NOT gate. If only these three are available, then if I want to perform XOR operation, what I have to do? I'll make a combination of these three gates and then I'll going to perform XOR operation. So here in my library only three basic gates are available. Some other vendor may have five gates, that is AND gate, OR gate, inverter, NAND as well as NOR. And similarly, some other vendor may have more number of basic gates. So like this, every vendor will be having his own, he has to define the corresponding library required to build circuit using their technology. And while constructing the circuit, they will going to consider the area constraint, timing constraint, power constraint, all these things they will going to consider. So that is why logic synthesis tool takes internal representation and implements the representation in gates using cells provided by the technology library. So this technology library is provided by the vendor. He has to decide which particular technology we are considering and what are the basic cells or primitive gates he is using, and based on that logic synthesis tool what it will do, by using the equipments present in the library it will build the circuit. If more number of basic or primitive structures are there, then more effectively optimized circuit can be built, otherwise less effective optimized circuit can be built. So like this it depends on the corresponding technology library. Okay, and before coming for the technology mapping, first only it will optimize. While optimizing, it will going to consider general optimization for all vendors. But when it comes for technology mapping, then for a specific vendor, what he will going to specify the library, technology library, based on that further optimization can be done. That is known as technology optimization, and this belongs to a particular vendor. For example, if I am going to consider a vendor by name XYZ, so in that case he will be defining a library, and the what synthesis tool will going to do? It will going to use the library given by the XYZ vendor, and according to that, it will further optimize the circuit, and then it will be considered for next operation. So that is what we are going to consider. Then how this technology library can be built? So when considering the technology library, first manufacturer has to decide what primitive gates or basic gates or primitive cells, like if you want a basic 1-bit adder or a 1-bit multiplier. Using that 1-bit multiplier, we may consider n-bit multiplier, means 10-bit multiplier. But for doing 10-bit multiplier, once again considering many 1-bit multiplier may be of huge circuit. So there once again we may go for optimization. So like this we are going to consider the optimization based on the available library. For example, the best example what we can consider is in digital electronics lab. Okay, so when we are going to consider any particular circuit using basic gates, and similarly the same circuit using universal gate. You know about universal gates, that is nothing but NAND and NOR gates. If you want to implement XOR gate using basic gates, it will going to take different number of gates and the corresponding circuit. And if I want to build the same operation using NAND gate or using NOR gate, once again it will going to take different number of NAND gates and the circuit may be different. So like this it will going to change. So depends upon the availability of the component, we may get the optimized circuit. Okay, so that is what we are going to consider optimization. But while doing optimization, we should know which components are available. So that required components must be built by the vendor. So he will going to mention what are all the components that he will going to use while manufacturing will be placed in the library, and that will be given as a input for the synthesis tool. Okay, while building the library, he has to decide what range, means how many number of cells he should consider, and what are all the functionality, basic functionality it should be included in the library, so that we need not necessary to write program once again. The best example is while writing the structural architecture, what we are going to do, we are going to consider primitive gates directly, isn't it? If primitive gates are not available, then what we have to do? We have to write program for primitive gates, and then it should be included. Suppose if you are going to write program of a full adder using 2 half adders, then first you will write program for half adder, and then you will going to use that inside the full adder, right? Suppose if half adder program is already available in the primitive library, in that case directly you could have used half adder program. You need not necessary to write program once again, isn't it? So there it indicates that how much functionality is available in the technology library. Only using that functionality circuit optimization can be done. Okay, so that is the reason first vendor should think what functionality he has to provide in the library, and then it should be considered while building or while fabricating the IC. So while characterizing that, he will going to consider these following process, that is cell characterizing process. So what is this cell characterization means? When any particular circuit is considered, first you should know what is its physical layout of a one microcell or macrocell, and then how much area it will going to occupy, and what is the corresponding time and power consumption it will going to take. For example, let me consider the ripple carry counter, 4-bit ripple carry counter. So in this 4-bit ripple carry counter, what we did is we were having 4 T flip-flop. Okay, and use for this T flip-flop, once again we have considered one inverter as well as one D flip-flop, isn't it? So according to this, here we are going to consider D flip-flop as the microcell. D flip-flop and inverter are available. T flip-flop is not available. So using this D flip-flop and inverter, we built T flip-flop. Suppose directly T flip-flop is already available, then instead of using this, directly we could have used this, isn't it? So this indicates that which functionality we are providing. And then in order to build this T flip-flop, we are using inverter and D flip-flop. So we should know the corresponding the layout of the circuit, what I am considering, and then I should know how much area it will going to consider. Whether it is occupying larger area or it is occupying smaller area. If it occupies smaller area, then we can able to consider more number of components. If it is occupying larger area, then in order to build that part of the circuit, only it is taking more area, which is not desirable. Okay, because we want a less occupying circuit with more functionality. So the less area occupying circuit with more functionality. That is the reason the vendor has to decide all these things while characterizing a particular cell, library cell. For individual library cell, he should consider its layout, its area, its timing and power constraints. By using all these things, he will going to define a particular library cell for AND operation, OR operation, 1-bit XOR operation, or 1-bit multiplication, or 1-bit division, like this he will going to define. Okay, and now using that, the corresponding synthesis tool will going to optimize the circuit. So here the information in cell description, what it should have what is the functionality of each cell. We have to describe, the vendor has to describe what function it will going to do, how much area it will occupy, and how much time and it will going to consume to give the proper output, and how much power dissipation will be occurring. All these things will be mentioned in the information of cell description. For every cell, this description should be precisely defined by the vendor. Okay, if he wants to change the technology, according to that, once again he has to build the corresponding technology library. So based on that only optimization will be done. Otherwise we cannot able to do optimization. So with the available resource only we have to do. So if the choice of cells in the technology library is limited, means only if less number of library cells are there, then we will be having only less option to make the circuit optimization. As I told, if you are having only 3 gates, AND, OR and inverter, using that I want to perform full adder operation or half adder operation only. Then in order to perform implement sum, I need XOR gate, and for carry AND gate. But for anyway AND gate is already available, but XOR gate is not available. To build XOR gate, what I have to do? I need to consider 2 AND gates, I need to consider 2 inverter and 1 OR gate. So totally I need to consider 5 gates along with 1 AND gate to get the carry. So I need to use 6 gates to implement half adder. Suppose if XOR gate is already defined in the library, then directly I can use that gate. Then only 2 gates are enough, XOR gate and AND gate. So as a result, it indicates that how many number of functionalities are available. It depends upon how optimized circuit we are going to get. If large number of functionality is available in the technology library, then more optimization can be done. If only less number of technology cells are present in the technology library, then less optimized circuit can be done. This is how we are going to consider. And when we are going to consider the design constraint, mainly 3 things we will going to mention. That is how much time it will going to take, and how much area it will occupy, and how much power consumption or power dissipation it will going to do. Okay, So when we are going to consider the timing constraint, internal timing analyzer will be provided. So it will going to check each and every time, means from the beginning till the end, how much time it will going to take to give the output. For example, let me consider an example of AND gate only. So AND gate is having two input AND gate. AND gate is having two inputs and one output. So now when I change an input at one particular time, then how much it will going to take time to produce the output. Okay, so that will give the timing constraint. So when I change the input, the change in input should flow from power supply to the input port, that is the wire connection. How much delay that wire will going to execute, that is also added for the timing constraint. And internally what circuit is used, which transistors are used, and how much delay they will going to take, all these things. And finally to propagate for the output port, how much time it will going to take, that will be calculated. That is considered as timing analysis. Okay, so every vendor will going to provide internal static timing analyzer, so that he can able to analyze how much time it will going to take to respond. Okay, and similarly area, in order to get the final area, how much area it will going to occupy. Suppose if the IC size is of 1 centimeter cross 1 centimeter width, okay, inside that how many number of transistors are present. So around millions of transistors will be present in that area, 1 centimeter cross 1 centimeter. In that million number of transistors, how much area the designed circuit will going to occupy. If it is occupying larger area, then more functions he cannot able to implement. Okay, so that is the reason he has to consider the final area, how much it has to consider. If it is exceeding the required limit, then once again the technology has to be changed, or some other way of implementing the required functionality has to be considered while defining the leaf cell. Okay, so these things we are going to consider when area is considered as a constraint. And next, power. So usually when we are going to consider any integrated circuit, you might have observed that if there is any short circuit, that IC will become very hot, because power dissipation will be more. It cannot withstand that power dissipation, and there may be a damage for the IC. So that is the reason whenever a power is given for the circuit, how much power it will going to consume, whether it is exceeding the threshold or less than the threshold. If it is less than the threshold, then okay. If it is exceeding the threshold, then we have to consider using different material, or using some other heat sink materials like this to reduce the power dissipation. All these things we have to consider. That is what three things we are going to consider while designing. And whenever we are going to consider area versus timing, so usually if the area increases, time decreases. Why we are considering like this means, see, when we are going to consider sequential circuits and parallel circuits, okay, when we are performing sequential circuits, or yeah, let me consider 4-bit addition only. So in order to perform 4-bit addition, if I am using only one full adder, okay, using only one full adder, we are performing 4-bit addition. How we can able to perform 4-bit addition? First, I will going to give 0th bit as a input along with the carry in as 0. Okay, and then I will be getting the corresponding 0th bit sum output, and then the carry out we are going to get. Okay, so here first I will going to give only the 0th bit of AB and then initial carry in. Okay, and now what we are going to do is, after performing first bit addition, I will save the result in some register. Then I am going to give second bit. So when I am going to give second bit as an input, and previous carry as an input for Ci, I am going to get second bit sum as a output. Then once again I'll save this in a memory. Then I'll going to give the next bit, next higher bit. So like this, we can able to perform n bit addition, but how much time it will consume? At a time only one bit addition. So if it is taking 1 microsecond to perform 1 bit addition, then to perform 10 bit addition, it will take 10 microsecond. And here area is less because only one full adder I have used. But instead of this, if I use 10 full adders to perform 10 bit addition, then how much time it will going to take? It will take less than 10 microsecond, right? So as a result, if area increases, time reduces. If area decreases, time increases. There is always a trade-off. But the vendor has to select what type of constraint he should consider, whether a larger area or a larger time. And again, it depends. We cannot completely consider more area, and also we cannot completely consider very less timing. There will be around 50-50 we have to balance out, so that it has to meet the area constraint to 50% extent, and similarly with respect to time. That is known as optimizing trade-off when we consider area versus time. So neither this part is always suggestive and neither this part. Only this particular part is suggestive, so that here we can get some optimization with respect to area as well as time. Okay, this is how we are going to consider. And also in which environment the corresponding circuit will going to operate, that also matters. As we know that when we consider semiconductor devices, and we know that at very high temperature it acts like a conductor, and at very low temperature it acts like an insulator, and at some optimum temperature it will going to perform the required operation. So that is why we have to consider in which environment factors we are giving the inputs, and also through which type of source we are getting the input, and for which type of devices we are driving. All these things we have to consider. So while by considering all these factors, these data should be given as a input for the logic synthesis tool to generate the optimized circuit which is suitable for the given environment. Not only it has to consider given environment, it also has to consider the corresponding design constraints specified in the technology library. So for your logic synthesis tool to generate optimized gate level description, what things you have to do? You have to give input as a technology library which will going to satisfy all timing constraint, area constraint and power constraint. Along with that, you should give in which particular environment it will going to work. Okay, and this is one part. And what is the another part? The another part is the description given by the RTL logic. So all by combining these two information, the optimized gate level will be circuit will be generated, and that will be given for the vendor. And what vendor will going to do? He will going to check the functionality, and if everything is okay, means whether it is meeting the required time constraint and the required area constraint, power constraint, everything, when once it is okay, then it will be given for a manufacturing. Otherwise it will not be given for manufacturing. Once again, the designer has to change either RTL level or it should be changed in the technology level. Okay, like this we will going to consider the design flow. Now while considering the design flow, mainly three things we are going to consider. If you are considering a very high speed circuits like microcontroller or microprocessor and all, so in such case sometimes the technology, whatever the vendor will going to give technology library, the using that we may not able to get optimal result, means they may yield in non-optimal result because due to lack of the number of library cells defined or the corresponding technology what they are following. So in such case, the designer can only generate the corresponding he can only define the corresponding technology, and he can only generate the corresponding library and cell characterization, everything the designer can be generated, provided he should give the proper information with the fabrication process and also to the vendor. So using his technology, we can get the corresponding optimized circuit compared to the vendor's technology library. So those things he can consider. Or else when we are writing RTL description, means we do not have any issues with respect to technology library, then we have to consider the corresponding RTL technology. Means very good RTL technology description will also generate a optimized circuit. Okay, like how we can able to consider is, for example, when we are going to consider the same example, I'll take full adder. So there we will come to know when the sum output should be equal to 1 and when it should not be equal to 1. So like this we will going to consider, isn't it? And there if some input is by default it is equal to 0, in that case we are getting the output, means there we can able to optimize. Means the better way of describing the circuit, instead of writing for all the possibilities, what we can do is we can able to mention only in this particular condition output should be 1, otherwise it should be equal to 0. So like this also we can write. Or else when A equals 0, B equals 0, C equals 0, sum should be 0. Or when A equals 0, B equals 0, C equals 1, sum should be 1. So like this, complete truth table implementing. Okay, that is not a good RTL description. We should also make some constraint, and then we have to give the optimal RTL circuit description. Then we can able to get optimal logic synthesis gate level circuit. Okay, that is one type. And another thing is for submicron design, means for small circuits, if there are a lot of connection, then the connecting wires will only offer more delay. Okay, so that is why interconnect delay will become dominating in such case. Okay, when more number of small components are connected, then each component will going to introduce delay and each connecting wire will going to introduce delay. So that will also increase, that will also not give rise to optimal design of a given description. So in order to consider all these things, there must be a tight synthesis tool. It should find out where it has to consider the optimum part and where which it cannot able to optimize. All these things it should clearly identify, and the better optimal circuit it has to design. This is what we are going to consider. And for that, let us consider an example. So in this example, what we are considering is using a 4-bit magnitude comparator. If you want to design a 4-bit magnitude comparator, then how the designer will going to look the corresponding synthesis flow. Okay, so first when a designer is asked to perform 4-bit magnitude comparator, he will going to specify the name for the device and then what are the corresponding input and output ports, and while considering the inputs there must be no undefined or unknown like this. Okay, and then he should be knowing that when output should be equal to 1 and when output should be equal to 0. All these things he should able to specify clearly, and then he should also specify that the comparator circuit must be fast as possible. Area is not compromised. He is because while considering this example, area is not mentioned, so he is not bothered about the area. He is just bothered about to giving the output as fast as possible. And what type of output? it has been defined here. This particular output is true only if this condition is satisfied. Otherwise, it will be false, like this. Specifically, we have to mention. And afterwards, we will going to describe the program. So here you can see the corresponding RTL description. Here we are declaring the IO ports and the corresponding size of the input and ports, input output ports, and then we are mentioning when it is high, otherwise it will be low. So all these things we will going to mention. And next, what technology library will going to do? It will going to check whether these functionalities are available or not. If the vendor is not giving these primitive gates, it cannot able to consider this, okay, construct this. So when it is not able to construct the given operation, in that case we cannot able to get the required output. So this technology library will going to check that vendor whether he has supplied the corresponding primitives in the library. If the library cells are defined, then it should be able to understood by the synthesis tool. The functionality, all these things will be considered in the technology library. And this is how V NAND means it indicates the 2 input NAND gate. V indicates vendor. So what he has been defined. V and like this we are going to consider 2 input gates and all. And next, the design constraints. What design constraints is considered? Only the timing, means we should get the output as fast as possible. Area is not considered and power consumption is not considered. The target is only to get the output as fast as possible. And finally, what logic synthesis will going to do? This synthesis tool will going to read the specification given in the RTL description and the data available in technology library, and then it will going to generate the corresponding necessary optimal circuit. Okay. And finally, we are going to get this circuit and using the library defined by the vendor and the description given by the corresponding RTL description. And now here it will come to know which particular gates and how many times that gates are used, which interconnections it has to do. All these things will be there. So based on that, we are going to get the corresponding gate level description. So these wires, you can able to notice that there are n number of interconnected wires. So they are all defined here. Okay. And then the structural gate level description we want, isn't it? RTL description is this one. Okay. It is defined in example 1. But this gives, example 2 gives the gate level description generated by the synthesis tool. Okay. So it will going to consider what are all the gates. By using name, the connection has been done. What are all the gates it has used to perform 4-bit comparator. And when once the final optimized gate circuit has been developed, then it will be given for the corresponding vendor. Okay. If there is a change in the vendor, means some other vendor also wants the same circuit, in that case what he will going to do? RTL description will not change and constraint will not change. Only technology library will change, and automatically that will be given as an input for the synthesis tool, and then it will be obtained, means optimized circuit will be obtained. This is how we are going to get. And finally, we'll go for fabrication. When we go for fabrication, what we are going to consider? We will going to consider the vendor will going to verify whether it is functioning properly or not, whether it is meeting the time constraint or not. If it is meeting the time constraint, in that case, he will going to manufacture. Otherwise, he will ask the designer to redesign. Like this, we are going to consider. And finally, the last thing what we are having is verification of gate level netlist. So in this verification, what we are going to do is, in order to check the functionality of our program, we have simulated. Okay, the same inputs will be given to verify the corresponding layout built by the synthesis tool. We should get the same output. If the output is different, we are not going to get, I mean, it is not satisfying the required constraint to implement. If the output is same, then both whatever it has been described in the RTL level and whatever we are manufacturing, both will do the same functionality. Like this, we will going to consider. So that is the reason we will going to give stimulus for the magnitude comparator. So here we are going to mention the corresponding wires, inputs as wires and registers, and output as wires, and component instantiation will be done, and we used to give the input stimulus for the magnitude comparator. But when we are considering the functionality of the output of synthesis, there what we have to do means we have to consider the corresponding library cell that has been defined by a particular vendor. So while simulating, one more thing, yeah, here you can observe that while simulating for a normal program, we are going to call simulator in this format, but for a synthesis program, for the synthesized circuit, we have to call simulation like this, that is the magnitude comparator dot GV. So here we are considering gate level description developed by the synthesis tool, and then -v is used to indicate that we are using the library defined by the corresponding vendor, and here the example taken is vendor library as abc_100.v. So we have to include this while simulating. So that is why this is one of the example. If we are considering AND gate simulation defined by the vendor, then we will going to mention what are the corresponding output ports and corresponding input ports. And here you can observe that we are considering in1 0 equals out, and this is minimum, maximum and typical delay. You know about these things, isn't it? So one is rise time and the another one is fall time. So here also, if the input is 0, what is the corresponding rise time and fall time delay it has to take to send data for the output? And similarly, if the input is 1, then how much rise time and fall time it has to take, that we are going to specify. It means that is specified in the library itself. Based on that, it will take the delay and it will going to execute this statement, and we will get the output. In the same way, for all the gates that are defined, a specific library cell will be there, and it will going to give the corresponding output. So now we have to give stimulus for both RTL description and gate level description, and we have to check if both are identical, then the circuit is correct. Otherwise, we have to redesign. This is how we are going to consider verification of gate level netlist.